Partiu.
So we didn't find a core that time, but that ain't about to stop us. We could always see the stars. We just never could reach them, no matter how high we built.
Bom, essas armas não tô usando, vamos deixar elas de canto. Bora seguir um pouco a história. Ué. Tem esse aqui, é a minha base. A gente tem os guias de upgrade. Vamos seguir do jogo primeiro.
The dead welcome him with open arms. The calamity took everybody after all. Kid sees it plain, frozen faces all around. You don't much care to see him. Not like this. These folks never saw the calamity coming, but someone did. Someone close. Someone who ain't like Mr. Beckley and his kindly wife. It was someone like him. Kid sees him there agape, in the flesh. It's a snag or two trying to get to him. He ain't about to stop, no matter what. He's got so many questions after all.
Esse caso aqui era mais fácil ter usado o escudo. Mosquei tentando esquivar.
Just ain't got time for answers. The Thunder Brothers.
A questão é como é que eu uso vida. Rio é F. Tá jogando no controle, né? A gente não sabe os botões da rua.
Nordy, the bird boy, didn't make it. The Jawsons, they didn't make it. Grady Sr., Grady Jr., they didn't make it. But him, he survived. Kid finds proof enough that man ain't from around here. Just think, without that man, we wouldn't be here right now, would we?
Eu não posso segurar o clique esquerdo. Dá ruim de segurar o clique
esquerdo. The core survives as well. Kid does what he has to do. And then... what do you say to a man who's seen too much? Kid hasn't a clue, but he says this. We have to go. Please.
Salvamos sobrevivente. Peraí, me mandaram alguma coisa.
A man. His name is Zolf. No hiding he's an Ura. Folks like him ain't never been a common sight in Caelondia. He's relieved to see a living face or two. The kid and I introduce ourselves in kind, both to him and to each other, for the first time. The cores, they remember. That's why this place is coming together. That's why things are gonna be alright. For Zolf, Caelondia was like a second home. He's real worried about his first home, too. Far to the east. We all lost loved ones in the calamity, he says. I don't know how I'm gonna go on without mine. Zolf offers to help me plot the skyways for the kid. At least the calamity hasn't touched the stars, he says. He was born in the Tazzle terminals. The Ura sent him on a mission of peace to our city, and he's lived here ever since. We fought the Ura decades ago, but that was then. Things are different between us now. Well, look what we have here.
Olha o memorial primeiro.
The memorial. Here, a kid can pay respect to the old world and earn it in kind. The valediction. Just another one of my sketches. Nothing more.
Learning secret skills. Vai demorar. É a progressão do jogo.
Words can't express what happened, but they're all I got.
Não upamos ainda, beleza.
Dread runs brewed from swamp weeds, so its effect is as bold as its flavor.
Trocar de arma também não. Vou guardar o dinheiro por enquanto, tem mais prédio.
We tracked down a couple more cores near the edge of the
Área
city.
cleared. O que tem aqui? Core. Core. Pra cá.
No use praying to the gods these days. No time for it either.
Ok, dá pra subir e dá pra descer.
Folks used to make pilgrimage here, pay their respects to Pith, the bull. Well, the gods are long gone now. And the orchard core is long gone too.
Deixa eu ver o que tem do outro lado.
Well, no use turning back just yet. Pith, orchard. Place is a dead end in more ways than one. The gods ain't gonna catch you if you fall. Pith stood for something once. Something real. In time, though, the bull stopped being a symbol and started being decoration.
Então, olha o que tem lá pra baixo. Mas foi bom ter descido.
The gods don't care about trinkets, but the kid ain't no god. Pith makes a decent scarecrow, at least. Then Pith lights up like a rodeo. Ain't easy punching through his hide. Pith breaks him to bits. Must have been guarding that shrine. So what'll it be? Invoke the gods, or tell them off? Pith. Kid decides to press his luck. Well, if the gods are alive, they must be plenty sore. Kid ain't never seen windbags that quick. Maybe old Pith put a scare. Kid ain't found the core, but at least he found Zolf's precious shrine.
Tem algo pra fazer aqui depois.
Now we can build a shrine of our own, though I got some alternatives in mind.
Pra gente aprender a fazer o templo, então.
Zolf doesn't touch the thing. Says the god of commotion is no children's toy. Kid says hello, but Zolf's lost in thought. The Ura feared the gods. We turned them into toys, put their faces on our walls. Fetching fizz is like a mouthful of nails, but the benefits are worth it.
Temos que achar core.
There's only one way to Cinderbreak Fort. The hard way.
The hard.
Sure, the city marshals may be gone.
Tem algo pra cá? Ah, sério, bro?
But now the fort's
Olha lá,
crawling
tu cai.
with windbags.
Ah, beleza.
The calamity was mercy for normal folks. The windbags ain't so lucky. They've been left to freeze or starve or face the kid.
É, devia ter levantado escudo.
Well, windbags young and old keep fighting for the fort. At least the marshals left the kid a parting gift. Something the windbags just can't handle. Something that'll punch clean through their greasy hides. Windbags ain't much different from normal folks. All they want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal. Windbags can't use martial supplies, but the kid sure can.
Caramba, a bolinha estourou e não tomei um dano.
As for the windbags, Cinder Brick gave them enough heat and metal to munch on for a while, but the fort ain't theirs by right. So many of those sorry things hold up inside that old fort. Not a scratch on him as he presses on the higher ground. Blasting everything in sight with that newfangled musket.
Cara, essas porcarias tiram muito rápido, mano. Jogando mal. Au. A solo da counter eu tô moscando, tipo.
Got a squirt lure at the ready in case things turn sour. Security's plane gone haywire. Windbags gummed up the works. Trapped the kid in the middle of the force parade grounds. Then they bring out Glutus and Blandon and all their scumbag uncles. They got something to gain. Their sorry hides. Takes down Glutus. Or maybe it was Blandon. The other big fella soon joins his brother, wherever they are now.
Wow.
The windbags finally get the message. Kid used to dream of getting a marshal's badge, but not like this. And now ain't nothing left for nobody down at Cinderbrick Fort. Kid shows up just as Zolf's telling me about his own journey to the city. Seems the only thing the Calamity saved for Zolf was his smoking pipe. Poor kid collapses after just one drag. The past. Only good thing ever come out of the past is history.
Vamos pra esquerda, mano. Ah, não tem esquerda. Só a luta mesmo.
Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started. Fair to say he's led a hard life, supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie. He never knew his old man, but he had his mama to take care of. Frail thing with pure white hair like his. Having his mama's hair did the kid no favors while he was growing up. But he learned to hold his own out there. School ain't working out, so the kid signs up for a turn on the rippling walls. Make his mama some money.
Tem 16 estágios lanças, né?
Thanks to folks like the kid, the walls kept Ceylondia safe from whatever's out there. The elements, the Ura, you name it.
Cara, tipo, destruiu tudo nada, que isso?
Once the kid done his time, he hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done too.
Esse grandão acho que não dá pra tancar, eu acho. Tancar ele acho que eu me mato. Cara, ele matou todo o meu sumo, velho.
The city had nothing for him. The money he'd been sending home was nowhere to be found either.
Pagani Bastion, perfeito. Simbora. Balanceado como tudo deve ser. Aí sim.
So what'd the kid do? Why, he went right on back to the walls for another 5 years.
Ai. Joguinho no golpe dele. Ah, eu tô ligado. Só que aqui é o Pagani é o pistoleiro aqui.
In the history of Ceylondia, nobody's ever volunteered for a second shift on the walls.
Caramba, o bicho não morreu e bateu em mim ainda. Brabo.
Out there, a kid learned to fend for himself. Learn to build. Learn to break. In time, the kid earned good standing with the marshals. They trusted him to scout out farther than anybody.
Em que parte da história você tá? Nem sei dizer, cara. Eu acabei de encontrar o sobrevivente. Aí eu dei uma fumada ali, o personagem voltou pro passado.
You saw nothing where the world used to be. The calamity happened just like that.
Ah, eu acho que...
All the kid had to work with was his hammer and the clothes on his back. Through twisted streets, he ran with nothing but the city crest and an old stranger's voice to guide him.
Não! Joguei na bicha.
Well, he finally arrived at Zealandia's vaunted safe haven. He and no one else.
Ah, esses bichos não dá. Não dá pra dar bem. Dá parry. Ah, cara, é sério isso? Dá uma mirada em mim, beleza. Ah, tem que acertar a angulação pra dar parry. É isso.
But then, all he got was more thankless work from a man who ain't even asked his name.
Ninguém viu, finge que ninguém viu. Really? I didn't really.
Sure, I may be the one who dreamt up the walls and the Bastion, but the kid made him real.
Cara, usei o item errado. Nossa, ferrado. Não! Oh, eu vou tomar game over isso, mano. Cara, eu devia ter dado upgrade nas armas desse vinho. Eu não sabia que ia ter toda uma... Aí é osso, viu? Acabou? Diz que sim.
I'd like to say I'll never forget him, or what he's doing, what he's done. I surely would.
Nossa, olha a vida que eu terminei. Meu Deus. Eu saí com um risco de vida.
Zolf's travels ain't much compared to what the kids had to go through for all this.
Shrine, Lost and Found. Shrine deixa depois.
The Lost and Found. Here, kid takes fragments of the old world and makes them whole again.
Tá. Ele traz desde alguns itens que eu não tenho até os upgrades.
All it takes is some fragments, and the Bastion makes it good as new.
Pegar o upgrade pro martelo. Por enquanto é só.
The marshals seem like good men, he says. They treated him with dignity. Zolf brought his antique smoking pipe all the way from the terminals.
Ai, ai, eu vou mandar de novo pra lá, eu acabei de fazer.
Surrendered to us. The marshals kept a wary eye on him. Ain't never letting go of his old friend with a sturdy grip like that.
Espero que não volte pro passado. Vou ficar triste. Ah,
It takes another drag. Goes out like a light.
Ai, ai.
There's something you should know about the kid, but let me take it from the top.
Será que é a mesma história?
Catches up with the kid. Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started.
Aumentou o número de reflexão, velho. Não era 20.
Fair to say he's led a hard life. Supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie. He never knew his old man, but he had his mama to take care of. Frail thing with pure white hair like his. Having his mama's hair did the kid no favors while he was growing up, but he learned to hold his own out there. School ain't working out, so the kid signs up for a turn on the rippling walls. Make his mama some money. Thanks to folks like the kid, the walls kept Ceylania safe from whatever's out there. The elements, the Ura, you name it. Once the kid done his time, he hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done too. The city had nothing for him. The money he'd been sending home was nowhere to be found either. So what'd the kid do? Why, he went right on back to the walls for another 5 years. In the history of Caelondia, nobody's ever volunteered for a second shift on the walls.
Os bichos azul é muito chato, mano. Ele só serve pra fazer o cara perder o strike do item de crítico. Fica com 100 de vida. Não vai subir ninguém.
Good standing with the marshals. They trusted him to scout out farther than anybody.
Raios de fogo.
Shuddered, cracked, and split apart. You saw nothing where the world used to be. The calamity happened just like that. All the kid had to work with was his hammer and the clothes on his back.
Yeah.
Through twisted streets, he ran with nothing but the city crest and an old stranger's voice to guide him.
Ai, eu não quis isso.
Finally arrived at Caelondia's vaunted safe haven. He and no one else.
I need ammo. Só tô Chris aqui pra me passar uma bala de 12.
But then, all they got was more thankless work from a man who ain't even asked his name. Sure, I may be the one who dreamt up the walls and the Bastion, but the kid made them real, not me.
Só os fracos defendem.
Forget him or what he's doing, what he's done. I surely would.
Cara, isso dá muita XP, mano. Nossa. Mas tem o chato que não dá nada, só completa a história. Não liberei nada, né? Não peguei level 4, não. Aí de novo. Bora seguir pelas ilhas. Tem o bagulho de shield. Tem esse aqui. Acho que esse aqui o resto tem pra upgrade. Daria pra fazer upgrade desse aqui rápido, se for verdade.
Ever felt a Zolwood gourd, like picking up broken glass barehanded? At Zolwood Grove, marshals learn to make every shot count. The trick was to pop all those nasty gourds without wasting ammo.
Do jeito que já tava pensando. Me ferrei um pouco. First prize? Ô, louco! Oroco, fiz praia.
Kid probably could have made himself marshal one day.
Pano de cima aqui. Aê, upgrade. Mais 50 de range, menos 50 de speed. Mais speed, menos range. É, melhor espalhar. Tem que dar um upgrade nessas coisas aí. Depois eu vejo o que é bom. Agora eu estou pobre. Não peguei nada pra dar pra ele. Ah, depois que eu pego o primeiro lugar é adeus. Não tem mais nada pra fazer. Ah, legal.
The Langston River flowed free and wild till the calamity drank it all up.
É só um upgrade por vir, só um minutinho. Tô jogando no teclado porque o meu controle não tá sendo reconhecido por alguma coisa, não sei. O jogo reconheceu a primeira vez, depois não reconheceu mais o controle.
Riverbanks swarming with bags. They're so bent on finding the core, they hardly notice.
Fumetsu no Anatai Dororo. Dororo eu já vi, mas o Fumetsu eu não vi ainda. Boa tarde, mano.
Lucky for him, a certain thing is very large is still afloat.
Fumetsu é uma boa, o pessoal diz que é ótimo. O caiu lá embaixo. Digo, filho da mãe, mano.
Maybe Nellie knows the way to the core. Maybe she can slip right past all the planet on the coast.
Poderia ter bloqueado o hit gratuito.
The security skiff pulls up port side.
Esses rápidos aqui é um
Now
boy.
he's just another windbag to those guns. Just then, the windbags notice who she's sailing. They're pretty steamed about what happened in
Eu
Cinder.
esperava que fosse tão rápido. Vai lá, Summon, faz a festa, eu confio.
They try to cut her off.
Esse aqui de baixo é de fogo, só não chegar perto.
They try to slow her down.
Pô, mas você não é nem o grande, não deveria me derrubar. Beleza. Deve ter ficado do mini evento no bike.
Well, Weepin' Nelly tries harder. Try as she might, though, she hits a snag. Kid's gotta help her get untangled. Favors for
Eu
favors.
caio em qualquer coisa.
At least she picked a good spot for a break. Keeps the cores right there.
Pô, eu não mexi em nada, não. Meu arsenal tá bom do jeito que tá. Eu ia de ladinho.
Then the kid hears an unusual sound, like 100 flapping wings. They've been watching his every move.
Que isso? Cheguei na Amazônia, meu?
They have their own island.
Tem passarinho agora nessa porcaria.
Why? Well, kid ain't got time to think it over just yet. Finds Weepin' Nelly raring to go. Turns out she's got a special surprise when the water's getting rough.
Ah. Os bichos deram charme na maquininha.
She's gonna need a little help with all them peggers. Crafty things think they're king of the roost now. Rest of us only wish we could fly in times like these.
Cara, tá dando uma queda de FPS bizarra no jogo. Não era pra tá rolando isso aqui.
Security skiffs keep on coming to starboard side. Don't seem to care what they shoot, as long as they hit something.
Eu tô sem arma a longa distância, mano. Mas aqui de baixo vai ferrar um pouco. Out.
Windbags getting even better idea. They aim to smash Weepin' Nelly's splinters.
Ai, 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 ai.
Skiffs like some practicing pilots here.
O barco cai que eu não mato.
She's just gotta make one last stop. With her last breath, Nelly gets the kid to solid ground. Solid ground in bigger country. They want that core real bad. Might be they want it just as bad as a kid. Kid shoots them off, knowing they'll be back. 4 times. Now, listen close. You should remember this next part. Why go to Prosper Bluff? Used to take an enterprising man or a plain old fool to venture out that far. The city was the most beautiful place in the world. We all knew that. But on the other hand, Some folks just yearn to see the things they're told they can't. And that's why you go to Prophet Love, ain't it? There the kid hears something he ain't heard in a long while.
Cara, me ferrei, porque... Ah, beleza, ele me joga pra lá. Eu jurava que eu não ia conseguir voltar, só que eu perdi algum item. Tem que fazer toda a fase de volta.
Yeah, that's the one.
Mano, meu Deus, fui humilhar. Ah, tá certo. Uma não é o suficiente, tem que ser mais, né? Gente que ninguém viu. Cara, eu tô vesgão, que isso? Mesma trilha sonora do rádio, praticamente. Meu pessoal. Vou que tem ele pra baixo. Tá. Que perda de tempo. Cara, tá. Aqui foi um glitchzinho do jogo, né? Que não era pra ter caído desse jeito. Ok, dá pra subir aqui. É aqui mesmo.
Well, no point explaining what happens next, right? Suffice it to say, kid ain't coming home empty-handed. And besides, it's like the song goes. Dig my hole, you build a wall.
O bicho invadindo no meio da cutscene, mano. Qual foi?
They'll be here before too long. We darn near celebrated when the kid got back, didn't we? Zolf never thought he'd see a fellow Ura again. We become fast friends. Calamity has that effect on people. But there was more to be done. There was one last core to find.
Depois que eu conversei com o NPC, aí deu ruim.
Most of the Ura never
Só cantar na base de
GG. Fine goods, unless they were born and raised in the city like Zia here. Sure, the world's all gone to pieces farther than the eye can see. But leave it to this gal to point out the amazing view. Girl tried to run away from home one time, but the marshals stopped that, didn't they? So many secrets in there, and she can't even read it. Her father's own journal. He ain't all that shy.
Canta pra nós, vamos.
If only I'd known half the secrets of the Calamity were tucked away in that book, I'd have worked to translate it right away. A scientific journal written in Zolf's native tongue. He learned so much from it. Too much. Kid's surprised when I tell him there's only one core left. I shouldn't have believed it either.
New idols. Ali.
Behold, the Pantheon.
Tipo, nenhum bônus bagulho dá, cara. Que coisa inútil. Cadê a música? Give me música.
We track the final core beyond the city to the wilds. The wild unknown. Place can eat a man alive. Place is so raw, even the Calamity couldn't cook it. Not all of it. You know what's better than having a slinger pistol in a fight? Having it too.
Tirar a pistola, ter duas.
Kid's faster than a slinger with those guns. Kid learns the hard way not to touch those things. Pecker's got the core, like they're building a bastion of their own. The welcoming committee scrambles to attention. Didn't expect the kid so soon.
Saudades da minha 12, mano. Vai, que arma ruim, mano. Não era.
They shouldn't have let their guard down. Getting that core was one thing. Getting out's gonna be another. He digs his way out of the clearing, but the wilds won't let him go without a fight. Wallflowers survived the Calamity. It toughened them up. Best take it real slow when pincushions are afoot.
Tira essa merda da minha mão. Arma
Kid sticks to his old standbys.
Cara, eu quebrei as caixas, eles spawnaram igual. Aí é zoado, né?
Don't ever turn your back on the pincushion. Kid's roused up half the wild by now. When Kid gets the feeling he's being watched. Not by me, by a lunkhead. And lunkheads ain't fond of two-legged animals. Hit him anywhere but the hindquarters, and he only made him mad.
Meu summon fugiu, velho. E aí?
Wild green vine apples about the only good thing out here. Hardly any signs of the old Jocelyn camp. The Wild's already reclaimed this place. He's anxious to get back.
Tem mais algo pra cá, esse aqui é o final. Tem muito o que fazer aqui.
By now, kids got more needles in them than stab weed. After all, he's got the final core. His journey's over, right? Well, no. It ain't. Not by a long shot.
Not by a long shot. F. Não vai terminar tão cedo.
Kid knows something's up when we ain't there to give a warm welcome. See, Zolf and I were just wrapping up a heated discussion. Zolf can barely muster the words. The calamity failed, he says. But I will not. And with that, Zolf leaves us here, alone. Zolf cursed the city, cursed the Bastion, cursed me, said he was going home. When Zolf got through reading that journal, he just snapped, started smashing up the monument till I tried to stop him. Zolf banged up the monument pretty bad. But there's a way to put her back together. The shards. We're gonna need all of them to nurse the Bastion back to health.
Não, ferrou com o nosso esquema. Legal.
Takes a lot of moving pieces to make a dependable sidearm. The city brought the shards to the Wilds. Now the kid's gonna bring them back. After Zolf's little episode, Kid sets off in search of shards. First stop, Jawson Bog. You'll get lost in that bog, I told the kid, and I won't be able to guide you back. Well, I let him go. What else could I do? What could any of us do? Zolf put us in a real bind. Hurt the Bastion bad. But the shards can make it better. They're like smaller doses of the core's medicine.
Pegar a pedra primeiro.
Shame the only place to fill that prescription is out here in the wilds. This place is intoxicating. Don't know where he's gone. Might be gone for good for all I know.
Que ó, a música.
Wherever he is. Somewhere I've never been. Somewhere I never want to go.
What the f... Alguém avisa o Prota e tem que parar de usar droga.
Dead welcome him with open arms. Kid pops him. Let a survivor of no was a lonesome ghost of a gas fella. What do you say to a kid who's seen too much? I'm Zolf. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Now the kid sees something stranger still. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds peckers, lunkheads, wallflowers, pincushions, pineapples, swamp weeds, ankle gators. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown. Kid sets foot inside one of Ceylondia's famous watering holes.
Ah, o tampo de desligou.
He has the nerve to flash the shield he stole. The security's just gonna have to straighten him succeeds where the calamity failed.
Ah, o que eu tenho que fazer aqui? Ah, ali.
Would you look at what he did to poor old Ronde the bartender? Proper story is supposed to start at the beginning. It's so simple with this one. Now he's a kid whose whole world's alright.
Ó, vai pela Rádio Rebus. Sejam bem-vindos.
He
Minha
wakes up.
vontade.
I'm just fooling.
Só te chamar de Pagani.
He sees what's left of the rippling walls.
Eu fico
Years
jogando
of
da hora.
work undone in an instant. He sees what's left of Pith and the bull. The gods, they're all undone. He sees what's left of his lifelong friend. His friend, he's come undone too. He sees what's left undone. Thought we lost him, but he finally comes to. The shard ain't lost either. Not anymore. Now to find a ticket out of this hole.
Tá, tem dois caminhos por aí.
Bootlickers stick their nasty thorns into his heels. Ever heard of the lung blossom? It's bigger than the stories say. scumbags sprung a leak.
Tá, a questão é o que tem se eu voltar pro outro caminho. Ah tá, depois que eu derroto ele não dá pra voltar F. Tinha alguma coisa lá eu perdi.
Mother only knows what happened in the bog. Kid never much cared to speak of it. A shard is like a poor man's core, but beggars can't be choosers. That's it. A few more shards like that, and we'll be back in business. A single shard can breathe new life into this place. The shard's got enough juice to spruce up any of these places.
Destilaria, bro.
Party punch is so zesty, it'll let you carry on through the worst of times.
Tirar esse aqui, não vou fazer isso.
Seems the gods recommended this place to all their friends.
Ah, eu
Think
aumentei
the gods are
ele.
gonna help.
Eu dei upgrade nele.
Never could ask for a song.
Tem uma musiquinha, né?
The city tried to use the shards to stake out the wilds. So much for that plan.
Mas essa aqui eu vou parar por hoje. Bastion.
Ankle gators used to roam the wilds, and they nested at Rothes Lagoon. Many a tale folks used to scare their children straight originated here. All kinds of beasts who don't know up from down, still looking about. These beasts, they don't like company.
Vaza! Tá fazendo isso aqui? Não.
Even the brushers learned to fear this place.
Essa porcaria me vendo invisível. Legal. E pra cá não tem nada, só comida na tua, meu. Trouxa.
They used to think that ankle gators were extinct. Well, they ain't. One of them's been living in the tall grass. They called her Queen Anne.
Ficar errando o tempo do Perry, eu morro aqui.
Turns out Queen Anne got a hold of a shard. Ankle gators love shiny things. Know what smells worse than an ankle gator's breath? The stinkweed. Ain't time for pecker hunting, but the kid can't resist. Can't fight Queen Anne without the proper tools. The lagoon's got plenty of other dangers, of course. The brushers use their pikes to keep their distance around here. Now the kid can do the same.
Meu dedo vai embora.
Those pin cushions been living off the ankle gator scraps. Queen Anne can't fit down some of these narrow paths. Queenie leads the kid into some kind of twisted trap. Still no sign of the shard.
Vou pegar minha marreta aqui.
One bad step in that tall grass and he's Queen Anne's lunch. He holds his ground. Seems the Queen's running out of options. He takes off after her. The closer you get to an ankle gator's lair, the thicker the tall grass grows. Kid's gotta make a run for it. Those leaping lunkheads don't like Queen Anne any better than the kid. Queen's got one mean bite. Queenie must have scared a bunch of peckers out of hiding.
Meu mal de vida.
Ankle gators don't much care for their young. That's why there ain't many around. Wanna know how to find an ankle gator lair? You use a kid as bait. The shard's sitting in plain view. Now she's coming for him. She's got nowhere else to go. They say if you run across an ankle gator, you better keep running. Started to get annoyed. And now he's made her mad. Rest in peace, Queen Anne. That was for the brushes. Kid's done what needed to be done.
Fez o que tinha que ser feito.
Queen Anne's
Salve, Fly,
reign's
você que tá
over.
ali.
We even got a crown jewel. Still no mail. Go figure. That Gator's a crazy gal. But so's the gal who promised to look after her.
Meu Deus, a gente tem filhote agora de...
All that trouble for a single shard. But you know what? It was worth it. Just the occasion to crack open the distillery's private reserve.
Diminui dano de quedas. Mais 2 tônicos do que? Esse aqui é bom. Suave, cara, tô tranquilo. Bem interessante.
Black rise like hot pineapple chowder on a cold day. Brings back memories. To fix a brusher's pike, you just need a good length of knife bark.
O que tem novo no arsenal? A lança só, né? É.
Kids ready to get real personal with hammer and musket in hand. They said Queen Anne was just a folktale. Now there's living proof she ain't. Come on, give the little tiger a break.
Tem 2 pets ali. Tá, eu vou parar por aqui. O Bastion, que dá uma paradinha. Vou agradecer quem apareceu no Bastion e... Vai jogar um pouquinho de Black Desert agora.